I welcome you all for today's Pranayama session. We will start with chant about Pranayama. Pranaschedam Vashe Sarvam Tridiveyat Pratishtitam Mateva Putran Rakshasva Shrischa Pragnancha Videhi Nahiti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Pranaschedam Hoshe Sarvam Tridiveyat Pratishtitam. Prana the life energy or the vital energy which is everywhere if we are able to take the control of this vital energy, prana, then we gain conscious control over every happening around life. This prana is the energy which is protecting all lives in this creation. This life energy is the main supportive base for experiencing the state of wisdom. First, I would like to bring clarity about what is prana, because this is one of the most confused understanding. With the practice of yoga, There may be thousands of theories, thousands of approaches, thousands of styles. But one thing you should clearly know, suppose if you wish to walk to the tent, you have to turn like this and walk. What you did a small mistake. Instead of turning here, you just turn this side. You may be walking for thousands of years, you will not be able to reach the tent. And also, since the present state on this planet about yoga, a lot of things, in many names it's happening. The better would be you only find out of your own search, or else the mind tricks you. From this dimension, you have to understand in reality what is prana. While understanding prana, or after understanding using the techniques when you are practicing pranayama, it should align with exactly what philosophical text says. Many times people add their own things. Of course, when you are doing a practice, any saying, since it's the path of the truth, any saying should match with an expression which is written in an organized methodology of classical approach. For example, Patanjali Yoga Sutra or Upanishads. Because the yoga subject, playfully people may alter it, or even the written text, many translations has gone, people put their own things. But, and also the main drawback is always we are in a state of evolution where the mind is exposed to a civilization process. What it feels important is not so important. In your mind, what you feel important, and you build your whole life pattern based on that importance, may not be so important in the end, or less important than many crucial important things. Why I'm saying this word is, when I visit different studios in different countries, have seen studios with full of posture practice, but till now I have not able to visit a studio where a pure pranayama session is there. Very rare. Because they don't know the importance of practice of pranayama, and what we need to understand is the mind undergoes a trick. It is tricked. Mind itself is tricked, mainly because you are exposed to a process where the whole life you are trying to feel through sense perception. Meaning, let's say for example, all of you on an average eat around 4 times, and an average, including the drink in between, what you have, the tea maybe, or a juice, morning breakfast, afternoon lunch, evening some snack, maybe night dinner. You eat, let's say, even 3 times food, but are you finding important to practice 3 time pranayama? If not, why? It's mainly because mind always feels important or aligns easily with what it can perceive. With the food, you can perceive the taste. With the food, you can hold it, you can sip it. So, something you can feel. So, with what you can feel, that triggers the importance of life. That is the big trap. That is why people can walk for so many kilometers, they can climb a mountain, they can visit, they can take round after round to see the food stalls. It's not wrong. They're attracted to music because it creates the feeling or sensation in you. You're attracted to food, but at the same time, which is formless, shapeless, colorless, it becomes meaningless. That's how, no? Even though it has a full meaning. See how long you can live without, for example, prana, not even 1 second. The moment life energy leaves your system, you cannot eat, you cannot drink, you cannot do anything else. It is so crucial, so important. But even if I am telling now, you are hearing now, yet by going tomorrow, you will not practice 3 times pranayama, that is for sure. Human mind is like that. If you are able to grasp the importance of subtleness, there is the success of life. But unfortunately, the whole civilization process is built on importance of gross. Gross, you know the word? Gross, Gross, gross and subtle. So since the whole civilization, education system, society, everything is built, even parents, children observe how parents cook or how a bread is toasted, something like that. But children never learn how to breathe. Very rare. How many of you are taught by your parents or you are teaching your own kids even how to breathe? And how many minutes, at least minutes, they are practicing every day? Always one thing you should know in life, it's a very, this theory applies anywhere. If something is subtle and it is needed to you, that is most important. Let's take an example. Which is the subtlest thing in your car? Which is the subtlest thing in your car? Car, you know that, right? Which is the subtlest thing in it? Huh? Color. Then what else? What is the subtlest thing of the car? Yeah, come on, you drive, no? Huh? Hmm? Mm-hmm. Turning the key. Subtlest thing in the car. Subtlest thing in the car. The subtlest thing in the car is the air in the tire, in the tube. If there is no air, you may have fuel, you may have car, but you cannot drive. Even without fuel, you can drive. If it is a down gradient, it will move. Imagine your parked car, which is a down gradient. The probability, what I am telling, as long as the tire has the air, it moves. But if four tires are flat, it will not move. In the same way, as long as life energy is with us, so long we will be able to function. The moment we lose life energy, we are lost. So this we need to understand very clearly in life. If a subtle thing is needed to exist, that is always important. Imagine you have a very beautiful body, you are breathing very nicely, but mind is not good. It's still subtler than life energy. If a upset mind or a mind which is absent, mind which is not functioning properly, if it is not good, having a very beautiful body or having the best way of breathing is useless, because mind is not there. Even you have a good mind, a good breathing pattern, or good the state of life energy, or good body, but you are not wise. You are not making a good choices in life. You end up being in pain and suffering. And we all come with a soul. If that soul is not in an evolutionary path, it's a waste. So the more subtler it becomes, more and more important it becomes. So from this dimension, you need to understand the importance of practice of pranayama. Prana means life energy. Ayama means dimension of life energy. So here, technically, why they named, even in the classical text, why it is named as pranayama, the dimension of prana, that you need to understand. There is the click, there is the link, whether you are practicing real pranayama or you are practicing something else in the name of pranayama. Prana is a state. Life energy is a state. Normally what people think is, I am breathing, I am getting prana. I am eating, I am getting prana. I see in many studios they teach it. Oh, you are getting prana. No, it won't work like that. By breathing in, where you can get prana, and then breathing out, you are leaving prana. So if you are breathing in, if you are getting prana, breathing out, you should be leaving prana. It won't work like that. Prana, pranaschedam vashe sarvam tridiveyat pratishthitam. Prana is everywhere. It's like you are inside a water and you are not able to touch it, and you are searching for water. No. Prana is everywhere, whether you are there or not. This is one dimension of prana. It is everywhere. I will give the link in your practice, practically when you are practicing, how to establish. The second link is, you should know the difference between expression of indication of prana and prana. There also people miss the journey in the practice of pranayama. I repeat, you should be able to understand the difference between prana and its identification. Let's say, for example, I am sitting like this. 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 10 hours it happened. Then somebody comes and tests whether he is breathing or alive or not. You begin to feel doubt whether a life energy is there or not. Suppose you begin to get a doubt, then I begin to move the hand like this. Then I did. So then I am moving and you are perceiving my movement and you are sure, oh, he is alive. Wherever you see the movement, you get injured, life is there. I am expressing the life energy. Suppose if I am moving my hand, you are thinking I have life, but for me I am losing life. You are understanding? I am spending energy. My energy spending gives the perception that a prana is there. People miss it here. Then they consider the movement as prana. They do many things to gain prana then. Wherever the change is there, wherever the perception possibility is there, that indicates there is prana. It's an indication. But prana is in you and it's everywhere. It's expressed. That is why when you understand Patanjali Yoga Sutra, he clearly mentions, even when you are practicing posture, why the stillness is important. Why asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. If you study that link, after asana, he puts the terminology pranayama. Ashtavangani, when he is explaining ashuddhi kshaye. After the practice of posture, you will be able to gain a stability where body can be made still. That is why even in the posture practice he brings the concept of sthiram sukham, stable and comfort. When the body is in stable and comfort state, you are with prana. When you are with the prana itself, that is indicated by breathless state. There is no breathing. If you read Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that also he clearly mentions the practice of pranayama means uchvasa nishvasa, we call in Sanskrit, inhalation and exhalation stops. When the inhalation and exhalation stops naturally, when the inhalation and exhalation stops, it's an indication you are in a pure effortless state. When the effort increases, metabolic activity increases. Increase of metabolic activity at the cellular level creates a demand to need breathe because it needs energy. Every effort comes consequentially need of energy. Wherever energy is needed, breath is needed. The moment you are breathing, that indicates somewhere an effort state is there. That is why the last state of yoga is called samadhi, mainly because even there will be no breathing. Samadhi means it's a kind of practical death, meaning only you are alive. Death is dead. Aliveness is alive. Or else what happens, if you are living for 10 minutes, you are leaving 10 minutes. Living. You are living as well as dying. So if you are living for 10 minutes, 10 minutes is cut from your life account. But once you enter the state of samadhi, that will not happen. Samadhi means pure life, the death of death itself. Or else duality will be ruling you. You cannot claim only I lived 1 year. You lived 1 year, you died 1 year. If you want to live only, then pure non-dual state. When it is a pure non-dual state, who breathes what? As long as a duality exists in you, so long you breathe. Because as long as duality exists, so long effort exists. Even though your hands and legs may not be moving, but still your physiological functions are happening. For that, blood has to circulate because it has to supply. Even if you study yogis, when you are in a deep meditation states, even pulse rates drops. Even it becomes zero. heartbeat stops. That's why it's called as samadhi. When you enter the deeper states of samadhi, just pure presence. There is no non-duality at the self-existence level. There is a pure non-duality states. There is no duality at the self. Pure non-dual. So when it is pure non-dual, who breathes what? That is the direction. See, how many of you have that spiritual orientation in this birth? That is a different issue. That's your own choice of life. But at least you should be in that direction. The moment you begin to be in that direction, health is not at all an issue. To be healthy is very easy. It's not a, see, if you see, almost all the plants are healthy, a dog is healthy, all animals are healthy. Why human beings fall so sick? Because they are not able to align with what is. So this alignment is pranayama. Alignment is pranayama. Alignment to what is. And what is can be at any dimension. If you are aligning to pure nature, imagine there is no consciousness at all. Pure nature, if your body is aligned, within 3 days your body is decomposed. If a person dies, within 3 days you will not be able to identify that person. How loving that person may be to you, you may be knowing sometimes when people drown or when people missing, after 3 days they cannot identify their own closed one's body. They look for some cloth upon the body, something, some necklace, some ring. Because within 3 days, if the body is handed over to the nature, changing process. Nature always changes. Nature always replaces. So what is holding us back from being dripping down into that nature is the consciousness. Consciousness is eternal. Consciousness is present always. Consciousness, no beginning, no end. We have both qualities in us. We have the quality of consciousness, at the same time we have the qualities of the nature, because both is required. Without the presence of both, there is no union. If there is no union, there is no life. At the dimension of deeper sense of pranayama, prana means when the pure consciousness unites with pure nature, an expression comes, that is prana. That is life energy. That life energy, if you are aligning, is just an alignment. That is why yoga is called as yuz. Yoga is a modern term. Yuz means union. With alignment, what happens? Union happens. With union, what happens? Oneness establishes. By establishing the oneness, what happens? Non-duality state arises. It arises. So you cannot construct a non-dual state. See, you can join. See, if a paste is there, you can join. Joining is different, union is different. I have a right hand, I have a left hand. I can join them, but I cannot unite them. So where the union is there, oneness is there. Where the joining is there, still I am joining, temporary. I am joining. My right hand is right hand, my left hand is left hand. Union means my right becomes left, left becomes right. It comes to a existence of a different state, combination of both, a pure neutral state. In the same way, the right of yourself, Ida, Pingala, both. Ida is left, Pingala is right. The right and left of your own self, the Ida and Pingala should unite to create the Sushumna. That neutral state is prana. It's a pure neutral state. Even a bit of expression happens, even a tiny bit of expression happens, you are out of that layer of prana. Then you are falling into a difference between the union of nature and consciousness, because whenever you are little bit movement, you are aligning with the nature. Your balance see, suppose if this is the balance of nature and consciousness, this is, suppose if you move, it is like this, it orients towards the nature. Then death, decay, again you come back, align, again disturbance. So like this, that's how tick by tick, 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 people die, moment to moment. The whole practice of pranayama means it is a pure, effortless state. And it's a pure being state. It's a pure, all-inclusive state. And it's a pure alignment with what is. Alignment of physicality with what is outer physicality, indicated by ability to sit still with the body. If your body is aligned perfectly to the outer physicality, there is no necessary to move. That is the alignment. That is what Patanjali brings as Ananta Samapattibhyam. Dvandva, when the duality, Dvandva Bhighata, means when the duality is broken, oneness is established at the physical level. So, through asana, you are establishing that oneness, you are able to sit still. When the body is still, what beauty it brings is breathing becomes very easy. If you can make your own test, each and every word what I am saying, you will be able to experience by yourself. You don't need to believe in me. You have to test, because if you believe, it becomes a religion. There is a difference between spirituality and religion. You have to experience by your own self. Then you are in the spiritual dimension. Even suppose if you are sitting, the breathing becomes subtler and subtler. If you are walking, it's little heavy. If you are running, it's too heavy. If you are running fast, it's very heavy when you are running. So that indicates the more intense the body expression, more intense the breath expression. Because it comes with the consequence of you have to supply the energy. That is why in yoga, stillness is projected. If you move, the sports and water, all the inventions you have, it is again, as I told you, with the limited understanding of the world. Because people think what moves, that is important. People think what they can perceive, that is important. With the running, you can say, oh, I ran for 5 kilometers, I ran for 10 kilometers. Instead of running 10 kilometers, if you sit still 10 minutes, benefit it 10 times more. True. You can test. You will never have any body pains. This test you can do by yourself. Every day, just practice the stillness. Most of your disease will leave your system. Because stillness, what it gives, whatever is still, see, if a water is still, what it happens? Any dust is there in the water, it settles down. And whatever, if you are able to establish the stillness in the body, all the toxins settle, it's thrown out of your body. Or else constantly it keeps on. That is why the stillness is very important in day-to-day life. You understand anywhere, whichever is still, that goes on becoming purer and purer and purer. You apply to anything. Once it is still, you become wise. Once you are still, you become healthy. Once you are still, your demand decreased. When demand is decreased, supply is decreased, that is simplicity. When you are able to be simple with your requirements, suppose in your breath level, you become simple. Meaning, oh, if little inhalation, exhalation, I am able to do the same functionings. That gives a different dimension, that gives a different possibility of expression of life. So that is why when you are practicing pranayama, because once I introduce the technique, you should not miss the path. Because if you miss the path, as I told, if you have a wish to walk towards the tent, if you make a little difference, you may walk for 1,000 years, you will not be able to reach there. The first instruction, now the instruction is about the practice. When the technique is introduced, it should be profoundly approached, not towards any becoming process. Suppose if you are practicing alternative nostril breathing, that the technique and all I will explain you. If you are practicing alternative nostril breathing, if you are breathing, normally what happens, the same pattern of mind comes, it projects, because it's already conditioned. So life means what? Movement. Life means what? Becoming. Life means what? To gain something. So these are all the conditions and patterns of mind. See, if you see the people, they live life from morning till night to get something. That's it. Constantly to get something. That is life. Life is so how can you limit life just to get some things in life? Then you are spoiling a very precious process called life. You are wasting the life is such a divine thing. See, earlier, now we tell we are so civilized. I don't agree with that in one angle. Earlier, people used to hunt from morning till night. Now, sophisticatedly, they are hunting different things. The hunting attitude is same. We are still hunters. Now your wants may be different, sophistication may be different, but the attitude of the mind is basically, by getting something, I can live happily. Earlier the hunters, they want to get something to belly. See, when you are living in a forest, what you need? Only food, nothing else. You have some hut or something to live, some cave, because there was no concept of constructing a house. When there is no concept of construction or house and there was no concept of cloth, what else? Only eating. So their wants is everything based on eating. So morning they get up, their worry was how I can hunt. The same thing is continued now. Oh, by getting something, constant. If you walk people, what I get. If you go to shop, what I get. All supermarkets, what I get. If I talk to a friend, what I get out of that friend. If I go to a session, what I get out of it. If I read a book, what I get out of it. If I go to a school, what I get out of it. See the sickness of getting. Can't you imagine life just sit for 10 minutes? I don't want to get anything. A remarkable change happens in life. A revolutionary contentment comes to you. When that revolutionary contentment comes, that directly affects the way you breathe. If you are in the mode of wanting, your mind is in the mode of wanting. If your mind is in the mode of wanting, your breath rate is more, because the trigger of the cells is also wanting. Then whatever you want, more food, you want something more to read, you want something more music to hear, you want more clothing, everything. No, it's one you who projects in different way, because your mode is wanting. That is why to practice pranayama, when you are, the moment you are sitting on the mat, the life approach is changed from wanting just to be, from becoming to being. The whole set of mind pattern has to be broken. Yes, I am sitting for pranayama practice. Just to be with that. Because prana is the bridge where self is. Where is self? Here and now. What is here and now? Every effort to find that here and now brings you away from that here and now. See, now you are in the campsite, like festival site, sorry. Now you are in a festival site. Suppose your intention is to be with the festival site, you should not make any effort to go outside. Any effort you make that takes you away from festival site, because you are in the festival site itself. In the same way, you are on the mat. Any effort you make, it takes you away from the mat. The same thing when it comes to the self. Any tiny bit of effort takes you away from the self, because the state of self is effortless. So that effortless you are aligning. That is the practice of pranayama. When you are practicing pranayama, that should be very clear. You are not practicing it to create an effort. You are practicing to expand the effortless state. You are practicing to be the effortless itself. You are practicing to be the self itself. To be the self itself means you are uniting. Union. Always union is possible with what is already. Two things are already set to be in harmony, union happens, or else difference happens. So from this dimension, of course, little bit it's bit deeper to understand the concept, but this is the concept. Or else anything else in the name of pranayama, it becomes just a circus. Same pattern of mind which wants to do. Because from birth to death, since the mode of life is by getting something, I can live happily. Wherever getting is there, it has to come with doing. Wherever doing is there, becoming process is there. So the whole life is identified from the background of becoming process. Now, whole dimension has to be reversed. It's a being, not a becoming. So when you are inhaling, you don't know the next moment. There is no decision, just you know. There is no decision whether I is to push it hard or slow. No, pure effortless in the moment. And also, one thing what we need to understand is breathing is happening without our any intentions. And while practicing breathing, if it has to be called as pranayama, one more important thing is you should not alter the state of the body. Let's say, for example, in some schools they teach, even I have seen students practicing many times many things. Let's say, for example, there is some techniques which is called as swara yoga, where it comes if you press some nadis, channels of the breathing nostril opens. Normally what people do when they are practicing the breathing, they try to press some body parts to create the opening. That is not good. What you have to know is pranayama means it is not a physical practice. Prana cannot be seen. Prana cannot be perceived. Variation in the breathing. Suppose imagine your right nostril is blocked. Let's say, for example, only left is open, right is blocked. For the blockage of the right nostril, not only the left is responsible, even the right is equally responsible. We exist as one. We don't exist as different. Functionally, we need different things. to function. Say, for example, to walk, I need the left and right things. To use hands, right hand and left hand is needed. Functional aspect is different, expressional aspect is different. So when I am practicing pranayama, I am aligning to life energy, not considering this is left, this is right. Merging the left and right. So how you can merging the left and right? Not because of forcible opening of something, it happens by itself. It should be a totality of expression coming out of each and every cell, coming out of each and every nadi. Each and every bit of you should go on getting purified, meaning being getting effortless. Or else what happens? Suppose if you are, let's say, holding here or here or here or here somewhere, to that extent you are delinking it. The same thing happens. Suppose if you are practicing holding a rope, many people do the posture, huh? They hold a rope, they hold a brick or something. The moment you are holding that, up to that it is out of your oneness. How is your toe? This is not like this. You are creating a difference. Where the difference is created, misalignment with the prana will happen more and more and more. Temporary benefit you may look, but eventually you will suffer out of it. That is why this oneness should not be missed. And when you are sitting for practice of pranayama, you should not specially feel any particular body part. That is sadhana, meaning practice. That indicates your body is effortless practically. You should not feel any particular body part. So when you don't feel any particular body part, that indicates you are not feeling that you are sitting. Feeling in the sitting means you are not getting tired, you are not getting pain, or you are not like forced to move. You are sitting very easily like a feather. So that lightness, that alignment, that sadhana is posture practice. The state of a yogi is how long a yogi can sit still, meaning effortless, in a comfortable position. If you can sit 10 minutes, to that extent you are fit. If you can sit 1 hour, if you can sit 2 hours, to that extent only you are genuinely effortless. Genuinely effortless. And even the science has a great formula behind it. You know, like if you have studied physics, there is a great theory, scientists which they invented. If a thing is at rest, or if it is in movement, meaning motion, unless it is affected by some external force, it continues to be in still or movement. Have you studied this in physics? No? That means, for example, if this is a mobile, it is here. We all come to the next yoga festival, imagine, after 1 year. Still the mobile is here. What it means? We come to a one conclusion, oh, nobody has come here. If somebody has come, it's not imagined like for after 1 year also to find mobile. That means the mobile stays as mobile. Nothing is coming and going. In the same way, if your self has to stay as self, nothing should come and leave. That is samadhi. The more it comes at a consequence only. You take one thing, whatever comes from outside, it is a toxin. There is no pure other than you. Whatever it may be. You may think, I may be eating the most, very nicest food. It is a poison. The nicest breathing, it is a poison. Because whatever added to yourself It is a impurity. That is why Patanjali, that is the angle of Patanjali, Ashuddhi Kshaye. You need to understand this terminology. Ashuddhi Kshaye means, Kshaya means Ashuddhi, like when you read Yama Niyama Asana, it has such a depth of expression. Let's say, if, see here, this cup has a water. This cup has water. Simple logic. If it has to stay as water, what can disturb? Suppose if I add 1 spoon of sugar, it becomes slightly sweet water. If I add 2 spoons of sugar, it becomes little bit more sweeter. Meaning, it is losing being water. It may become a sugar water. It may become a sweet water. But anything you add to a water, it makes it to lose the expression as water. If a water has to stay as water, it has to stay by itself. That is the stillness. That is the presence of mind. You have to stay as you. That is pranayama. That's it. To move towards that, see the difficulties. To stay as you are, that itself has become difficulty. Because the outside will not allow you to stay as you are. The gravity pulls you, all the physical laws disturbs you, because the process of nature is there, the death and decay is there, replacement is there. You have to go, somebody else has to come. This is the nature law. The nature law, because you are born, we are all born in the nature. So how you balance? That is the revolutionary path of yoga. They don't want to be scapegoat of just nature. I born, I die. Where is the scope of my freedom? Whenever nature decides, I have to born. Whenever nature decides, I have to die. So we are not free in the end. Even though we are free to travel, we are free to wear the clothing, we are free to talk, but are we free in front of the existence? That is the challenge of yogis. When you want to be free in front of the existence, that is why you are winning the death, meaning that also becomes a conscious. That is the liberation. That's why Patanjali keeps it in the 4th chapter. The chapter of liberation. Liberation from all kind of implementations. Even from the implementation of death and birth. Because wherever the death and birth is there, suffering is there. That is why when you are practicing yoga, it is a program to stay as you are. No addition, no deletion. For a flower, you no need to add anything or delete anything to make it a flower. See, we may see millions of painters are there on this planet, and hundreds, thousands of varieties of art expressions they make. Have you seen anybody painting a flower? Oh, you are a blue, I want to make you red. Anybody thinks like that? Because a flower is flower by itself. If you add anything, it makes ugly. No? Because it's artificialness. It creates a suffering in the flower. Because it has a fragrance of itself. It has a kind of subtleness to itself. It has its own color. It has its own history. If it is a blue color, that blue color has not started now. The blue color has started from the seed of the plant itself. It has become seed of that plant. It has grown as a plant. So whole history is there. In the same way, we are all self due to millions of years of evolution process. When you are practicing yoga, you are valuing that millions of years of evolution, meaning with self-awareness to keep the self as self. If you are able to keep it Shuddha, only self, that is body stillness, that is breath stillness, that is mind stillness, then you are Shuddha. That Shuddha meaning Ashuddhi Kshaye process has happened, and you are able to reach the state of Samadhi, meaning absolute oneness, non-duality. So this should be the practical approach. Or else, if you want to bring some color, some movement, something to look, something to feel, people have a crazy in life, they want to feel something. Many times when I visit different festivals, I see people do such a nasty thing called breath work. Never ever do it. You don't know the what damage you are causing. I'm giving the indication. If you do the breath work, why it causes damage? Breathing is like a food you are putting in. If you eat, let's say if you are eating a plate of rice or a piece of bread, here bread eat more. Huh? If you eat a piece of bread, okay, fine. Imagine you are very hungry. Very hungry. Before eating, oh, you want to eat. From 2 days you have not eaten. So you ate one piece of bread, two pieces of bread. Fine. Suppose imagine a situation, you had no option to get food. You knocked at a door. That person opens the door. I want a piece of bread or else I will die, he will tell. Okay, that person opens the door. It is, I am very happy to give you the bread. But one condition, you have to eat 1,000 pieces of bread or 100 pieces of bread. Then only I will give you. Will you take that offer? If you eat 100 pieces also, you will die anyway. So I will die without eating. Why to eat and die? Because the intake is, you cannot eat. You cannot eat after belly is full. After belly is full, how you know the belly is full? There is a well developed physiological system to trigger the sensation that your belly is full, because it's a Annamaya Kosha physical system. But when it comes to the breath, since the breathing is subtle and breathing has no such anatomical support to feel I am full, because there is no belly, only the lungs, only the cells. How much you feel, no? It doesn't, it cannot, the cells has not has a system of a belly to tell I am full. Sometimes some very sensitive people feel some headaches if they breathe more, hyper, like oxidation happens, and due to that they feel something is wrong. But with the breath work, imagine you are breathing in and out for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So you are taking in. You are creating Ashuddhi. Instead of getting rid of Ashuddhi, you are putting in, it's like, suppose if you have a sickness, you don't know to control the eating of food and you are eating, buckets of food, you will die. In the same way, the damage will happen because of anything unlimited consumption is danger, because Shuddhi means the purity depends on to what extent you are able to stay as you are. That is why even if you study Ayurveda, they very clearly mention you have to eat 50% of the belly, 25% water, 25% space and air. 50 is the maximum. Belly should be always, because minimum intake. Minimum the intake, maximum the output. When the minimum is the input, maximum is the output. So from this dimension, adopting all this understanding around this, then only if you are practicing pranayama, then only it's a genuine practice. Are you understanding the concepts, what I am trying to explain? So shall we go for the practice now? Keep your back straight, and I will give 1 minute. If you want to move the hands and legs, everything you move. But once you start the practice, stillness. As far as possible, don't feel forced, because if you are able to sit still, that indicates you are aligning with what is. Because pranayama is not a technique which you can get something from outside. Prana you cannot get from outside, forget it. Prana is everywhere. Pranaschedam vashe sarvam tridiveyat pratishthitam. Prana you are manifesting each and every moment. You should be in line with that manifestation. It's a continuous, eternal happening. It's not like that prana was here now, it was not there before, it will not be there ahead. Prana was always there, is also there, will be always there. There is no question of getting and leaving prana. It is all a limited understanding of prana. With prana, you can align. So for that alignment, body should be as far as possible still in the sense it's not a force still. Again, you take any comfortable position by which you are easily still, means sthiram sukham. That is the ability of a yogi. So in this alternative nostril technique, by aligning your right and left to the neutral state, because one thing what we need to understand in the progress of practice is, the more you are aligning to a positive neutrality, there is a two neutralities, positive neutrality, negative neutrality. That also you need to understand. So positive neutrality means neutrality of your own self-expression. Then you are aligning to Sushumna. Negative neutrality means you may be neutral, but your awareness is not there. Let's say, for example, if you are sleeping, you are neutral. You are not moving. That doesn't mean you are a kind of yogic stillness. Your neutrality is not your neutrality. That is nidra. It is the neutrality due to the absence of the self, absence of the awareness. So that also brings neutrality. That is a kind of, we can tell, negative neutrality. So you need to align to positive neutrality. If you read Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that is why he calls as nidra also a kind of disturbance. Why nidra is disturbed? People may think, oh, if I sleep, then only I rest. Then only I am active. Then only I can work. Then only I can express my life. I need to sleep 6 hours, 8 hours, 7 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. Why it happens? Of course, if you are not sleeping, you are too much disturbed. Without sleeping, you cannot function after few days. Why it happens is mainly because misalignment, what you are having day-to-day life. As long as you are sleeping, so long you are dead. You lost the life. That is why nidra means what? You don't have a capability to express who you are. The capability to express, see, you need to understand the evolutionary process. If you are nidra, you are not available to the evolutionary process. Not available also. Forget the process of evolution. You are not available. Like you are a temporary death. Then you are get rid of nidra. You came out of nidra and you are aware, you are functioning. At least it's much better, because as long as you are functioning with your karma. See, any functioning, any action, this is the world, this creation is like that. This is the world of action. Even if you read Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells the same thing. Once you are born till you die, you have to do one or the other action on this planet or on this creation to that extent. It's a continuous action. So now comes the big question then. How to act? In your actions, if you observe, see, the action for the body, action for the mind. Two things are there. If the action for the body is there, let's say for example you are doing too much physical action, you are running, you are carrying many weights, if you are doing physical action, physical tiredness is there, body needs rest. To some extent it can be agreed. Let's say, for example, just you are sitting, you are walking, you are sitting in front of a computer, or just only mind functioning. If a tiredness is happening to the mind, it is due to non-alignment. Because when you are moving, you are constantly non-aligned. That is happening to the physical body. So physical body has to move if you have that commitments in life, or if you have that desires in life, if you have that wants in life, if you are exposed to a becoming process in life, physical commitment comes as a consequence of that, then physical movement is there. So that depends on to what extent you are getting tired physically. Let's say most of us are not too much physical. That stage, the civilization process, at least passed for most of us. Of course, still maybe 30% of the people may be too much physical in their life. But at least we are able to come due to the development of software. Huh? See, people are moving towards software with the machines. They are not moving with the software of the body. Software of the body means to be still, more efficient. So when this alignment is happening to you, then comes the question, then why my mind gets tired then? Why mind gets tired? Because of you are not able to express life to the presence. A mind which is in presence, it is in pleasant. Which is in pleasant, that cannot be tired. Which is not tired, that don't need sleep. That's how yogis sleep very less and they function more efficiently than normal people. Sleep is not required for life if it is a very efficient life. That is why Patanjali puts it under one of the disturbance called Nidra. Nidra means what? A rest is needed. A rest needed. Huh? See the irony. That is an indication you are already losing the game. One day you will be dying. That is temporarily expressed with every span of Nidra. Because you are not able to cope up, meaning you are not able to align unconditionally with what is. You are not able to express who you are because the real self never sleeps. Can you think consciousness sleeping? Impossible. See, that depends on whether you have a lifestyle which is representing the quality of the consciousness or quality of your conditionings, quality of your wants and desires, quality of your becoming process, quality of your stress. That depends on. As long as you represent the quality of consciousness, is a beautiful process. What is the quality of consciousness? Eternal. What is the quality of consciousness? Always happy, blissful, always active. See, the highest quality of expressed in this creation is quality of consciousness. It manifesting the creation itself. What a quality, what action it is. The highest possible action is the creation itself. When you look at the nature, when this highest possible action is happening, through what it is happening? It's happening from the background of pure, everlasting, unchanging stillness state. That is the quality of the consciousness. So that quality of consciousness, when you are moving towards that, that is pranayama. That is why even posture also, people may think my head has to come to the knee or something like that. So posture practice is not to express the body. People miss the line here. They think, oh, I am doing a posture. No, it's a being. That is why sthiram sukham, stillness. People do the posture. They try to express the body. In fact, if you are a real practitioner of a posture, you will not feel the body. Then you are expressing it fully. Which is expressed fully, that you will not feel. The fullness of expression is there, the wear and tear is less. Let's say if you have a tire, you know the wheel for a car. Why it is wheel? Invention of the wheel. Why we don't have a square? Imagine a square car having a wheel in the shape of square. How it moves? Bumpy, huh? Even you will not be able to travel even for 1 kilometer, huh? If a square wheel. Meaning, with the wheel, what happens? A continuous stillness is produced. Can you understand it? With the wheel, a continuous stillness is produced. The possiblest stillness in the movement is possible through wheel movement. Are you understanding this concept? Because when the wheel is interacting with the road, is the moment of stillness. It's not bumpy, which is indicated by. So if you have a square wheel, you are bumpy, meaning your whole body is shaking. So where the wheel misses that stillness, meaning wheel is the maximum technology what we have invented in this creation to find the stillness in the movement. That's why wear and tear is less. That's why a journey is possible. In the same way, for a successful journey of life, if for a less wear and tear, stillness, meaning then you are in the wheel of the creation itself. You are in the wheel of the creation when you are still. That stillness is very important in the practice of pranayama. You are aligning, that is what Ananta Samapattibhyam, what Patanjali speaks. Infinite alignment. That is possible, why not? See, the moment you are not feeling any particular body part, which indicates you are comfortably still, once you are comfortably still, that is an indication your consciousness is not limited to the perception of your physical structure. That I. Your physical structure is a vehicle aligning with the whole existence. That is the dimension of Ananta Samapattibhyam. People who don't know the real meaning, they translate it. Ananta means God, Ananta means Ananteshwara, a recent invented God is also there, like that. Ananta means infinite alignment. Ananta Samapattibhyam, he very clearly states infinite alignment. And previous two sutra also, he is very clear. Dvandva, duality is merged, is a pure non-dual state. Ananta Samapattibhyam, pure oneness. How? Through Sthiram Sukham. In these three sutras, he brings a clear-cut expression of basic need to be still. Stillness means the positive stillness, meaning conscious expression of stillness, which involves all-inclusive stillness. That all-inclusive expression should be there in your body. From that angle, we practice the pranayama. Keep your back straight. In this technique, we will be breathing alternatively. We will start by exhaling through the left nostril. The left hand is in Chin Mudra. The right hand is in Nasika Mudra. So with the thumb, you will be closing the right nostril. With the ring finger, you will be closing the left nostril. So you start with the exhalation from the left, and you will be inhaling through the same left, exhaling through the right, inhaling through the right. So alternatively, you will be breathing in and out. The instruction I will give. First we practice this technique, then I will bring the depth for the practice. Keep your back straight. Close your eyes. Exhale left nostril. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Release the hands. See, now the first proper way of practicing. You have to cross the limitation of my instruction. Because I am using a language, I have to instruct. Inhale. The moment I pronounce inhale, a process is created in you. You begin to inhale, meaning you are bringing the doing culture. If you are in the doing culture, you cannot be with prana. Prana is not a doing culture, it is a being expression which is alive. It's not an identification of life. As I told you in the beginning, if something moves, you identify. So your identification is not its life. No doing, just being. How to bring it? I instruct to inhale, you take that instruction, but don't be dominated by that instruction. Meaning, many times people do this. They look some TV programs or something, how to breathe. You are doing, and you need to understand why this comes. The mind triggers. Mind identifies a process. Oh, a doing is happening. I am doing pranayama. Pranayama is not doing. How you align being, then the inhalation, exhalation stops. Stopping of inhalation, exhalation. And you cannot forcibly stop. You should not force it. It is a pure happening. So, how you are aligning to that happening, that is important. So, under this instruction, the instruction number 1, we will practice this. Keep your back straight. Close your eyes. Observe the breathing for a moment. Bring your hands, both the hands to the knee. Close your eyes. Both the hands to the knee. Close your eyes. Observe the breathing for a moment. Breathing is happening by itself. You are not doing it. Without interference of the mind, it's happening. You are not thinking in mind that I have to breathe. In the same thoughtless state, in the same non-interference state, I will be practicing the inhalations and exhalations. Just I will be channelizing alternatively. That's it. Exhale from the left nostril. Bring the hand towards the nose. The left hand is in Chin Mudra. Inhale, both the nostril. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Like that it goes. Continue these alternative inhalations and exhalations. I repeat again, you will be exhaling left, inhaling left, exhaling right, inhaling right. Again exhaling left. Like this alternatively it goes. Now bring the being. Create a happening of alternativeness. When happening of alternativeness is arised, the depth of balance is deep. Let it happen. Creation is happening. Let it happen alternatively. When you let it happen alternatively by itself, Shuddhi happens, Ashuddhi Kshaye. Because and happening is the existential expression. Happening is the conscious expression. Let the conscious functioning, just alternative inhalations and exhalations, establishing your presence of consciousness. No decisions. Sometimes on the right side you may able to breathe deep or no breathing, some holding, something is blocked, somewhere you feel to exhale fast. Whatever happens naturally, don't interfere with your mind. Let it happen. No interference of the mind. It is to align with what is union, it's yoga. No illusions, no imaginations. It's your own experience. Even it's not my instruction, how you feel naturally. The mind may feel, I want to walk, when it will finish. Mind needs a color, mind needs a cloud, mind needs an ocean, mind needs a mountain, mind needs constantly something else. Stop it. Don't align the mind to the nature becoming process. Through that, you are killing yourself every moment. Align the mind to the presence. Align the mind to the self. The self has no color, no form, no shape. When mind is aligned to the self, you are truly contented because your contentment is in your own self. You no need to create the state of contentment by having something, by wanting something. You are you. That's enough. That is purity. That is real stillness. Your mind may be getting bored, meaning you are a boring person to you. If you cannot be with you, who else can be with you? If you are feeling bored because there is no color, there is no smell, there is no taste, there is no beautiful vision, meaning if you are beauty, you are the beautiful. Why you need a form and shape to feel that beauty? Chitta Rutti Nirodha. Patanjali brings very clearly, Atha Yoga Anushasanam Yogaha Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Practice of yoga means to take control over the natural attitude of the mind. Due to its imprints, due to its conditionings, the mind tries to jump to something else, to get something else, to have something else, to move somewhere. Yogi means contentful person. Yogi means the person who represents the real self. Yogi means who is still. Yogi means who is in presence. Yogi means who is happy for no reason. You are that. Or are you that? A blissful, self-contented presence happening. Gradual, effortless. Keep your eyes closed, release the hands. An immense, deep calmness comes, naturally happening. There is no limitation for your expression, infinite. Don't select any particular thing. Live with all inclusive presence. No want is guiding life. That's why Buddha calls desire is the root cause of all pain. This is the reason. It's not like something wrong to have a desire. It is the life driven by wanting. Contentfully present. The breath has become subtle. Due to effortless at mind and body, the depth of Ida Pingala experienced, the left and right is aligned at the Nadi level. Nadi level alignment is possible only through effortless, not by anything else. Because it's energy. Life energy, it's a pure expression. You have to align to expression. You cannot have any other choice. Align consciously. Your body is like a wheel. Why it is wheel? Wheel doesn't expresses any particularity. In a wheel, if any particularity is expressed, that wheel is no more a wheel. In the same way, your body should be like a wheel. Sameness, oneness, smooth, easy. When you feel to open eyes, you can slowly open eyes. So we are almost coming to the end of the session. The real practice makes you strong to the depth. A genuine personality is grounded in you. There is no imitation of anything. A true self. Towards that, in your practice, you have to move. And you should identify this possibility in life. That is why contentment is one of the yama niyama. That satisfaction. When you are satisfied, where you want to move, what you want to see, what you want to get. Whatever you get, it's a permutation combination of 5 elements. Whatever you see, it's a permutation combination of 7 colors. Whatever you see, whatever you perceive, how colorful it may be, it's a permutation combination of 7 colors. You want to waste life just for few permutations and combinations. Life is very precious to express self, to find that genuineness, to bring that real state of self-expression. Then only a successful yoga practice will happen. Or else in the name of yoga, you will be continuing the same pattern of mind, trying to get something, trying to add something, trying to get entertained, trying to get fulfilled by doing something. No. Then that brings a different state. You're moving from one condition to another condition. So, and also when you are practicing pranayama, like you may learning many pranayamas, for example, even Kapalabhati is there. So in Kapalabhati you give the strokes. What is the identification to call it as pranayama or not means? In one of my previous workshops there was a question. You tell effortless, effortless, effortless. And when you are practicing Kapalabhati, it comes like this. Oh, is it not effort? See, if something is moving, it doesn't mean it's in effort. What is the consequence of it? By doing Kapalabhati, your pulse rate is not increased, your heartbeat is not increased, Your thought process is not increased. It's not triggering any physical activity, it's not triggering any mind activity, and how it can be a process of effort? That should be the criteria. Always, when you practice, even with the postures also, when you are practicing a twisted triangle posture, it's effort. If you simply sit, it's good. If you simply lie down, it's good. If you simply stand, it's good. Why you practice? Because you are creating a zone of effort to dissolve it and create a effortless state in you. In the same way, you should continuously work towards creating the effortless state. How you can create? You went to effort, you take your time, brought the effortless. That is the success of life. Or else you will be trapped and you will be jumping from one position to another. So from this background, I hope at least you understand some concepts under which a pranayama has to be practiced. If it in real it has to be called as pranayama. It is a very beautiful science. So if you have further questions or if you want to study further, I have a school in Mysore, which is in South India, where very deep teachings will happen. Shanti. These lines are two essence taken from two different chantings. I wish you all the success and happy time.